The old African proverb says, as the direction of the woman goes, so goes the race. And if you look at the direction of black women and white women in the 2016 presidential election, it shows that both races are going into two different directions. Now, in the 2016 presidential election, black women voted 96% for Hillary Rodham Clinton. And when they voted 96% for Hillary Rodham Clinton, it made a statement about how deeply entrenched white feminism was in the minds of the African American woman. Now, the African American woman co signed the feminist movement all the way back in the 1960s, and because she co signed the feminist movement, which told her she was a woman first and black second, she thought that she would be able to get the same economic and political power as white women. And she truly believes that a woman like Hillary Clinton is going to be acting in her best interests. And that's why she went out to go out and vote heavily for this Hillary Clinton, even though your Hillary Clinton and the Clinton administration from the 1990s did more to destroy the black community than anyone else in history. But the black woman, because she believes in white feminism and pretty much believes it as her dogma more so than anything, besides her believing that the white man is God, decides she's going to support Hillary, in a overwhelming majority, even though her white female counterpart could see how destructive this course of action truly was. Because when you look at the way white females voted, 53% of them voted for Donald Trump. And Hillary Clinton herself was shocked to see 53% of women voting for Donald Trump because she didn't understand the whole concept of female nature. Now, when it comes down to female nature, females are going to support not who is popular, but who provides the most resources, because women get most of their resources from men. And white women understand this more so than your black woman. Your black woman believes that a white woman and a white liberal will give her resources, but the white woman understood if she alienated white men, she would not be able to get any more resources. And most of these white females looked at the picture of the world under the Obama administration and started to see that they were starting to put their resources in jeopardy and put their own, system of getting resources at risk. And they looked at the situation with these movements such as men's rights, MRA, and MGTOW starting to build steam, and they decided they didn't want to further alienate men who were already upset about the direction of the country and already upset about policies being put into place like yes means yes, like manspreading, like street harassment. And they saw that men were really talking about a serious revolt. And they heard all of this chatter about men, and they heard men really talking about revolt. And what really got them scared was the plans of Hillary Clinton to become the first woman president, because they knew if Hillary Clinton was to become the first woman president, that would mean that there would be a high possibility and high probability that these men were going to revolt against women. And if these men started to revolt against women, that would be the end of resources, because these females had pretty much pushed a lot of men to the back of the wall. And the men were getting ready to push back. And these women feared what would happen in America, as what has happened in Japan, where the men have pretty much revolted and walked away from the women and become what they call the herbivore men, where they just pretty much focus on themselves and focus on their interests. And these white females got scared because they are used to being, again, the most privileged female in society and the most privileged female in the world. And they know if these males were to cut off resources, there would be no more free dinners, no more free drinks, no more guys going to help them out on the job, and they would pretty much fall. So they went to vote for Donald Trump to protect their resources and their opportunity to get resources. Now, your black female, in contrast, went to vote for Hillary Clinton because she again believes in feminism. She again believes that the woman is the one in charge, the woman is the one with power. And what she doesn't understand is she also gets her resources from men. And that the men that she was getting her resources from were white liberals. But she doesn't want to see those men because she thinks that she's got girl power. She thinks that she's a strong, independent black woman. But again, most of her resources came from men, and she didn't want to acknowledge them. So she went out to go vote for your Hillary Clinton and try to push this woman president, not understanding that the overall male population in the United States was becoming more and more frustrated about being emasculated in America because these white males and many of these black males were pretty much they were feeling pressure from being emasculated in society by policies, and these guys were about to say enough is enough. Yes, Hillary Clinton got a lot of votes in the black community, but the reason why she got those votes is because a lot of people have imbibed a feminist mindset and believe that women are supposed to be the leaders, women are supposed to be the heads, but in actuality, most white women do not even subscribe to feminism. This is the thing that most black women never got in their minds. They don't understand that a lot of white women abandoned white feminism years ago. And the reason why they abandon it is because they understand who provides their resources. So they don't want to alienate their provider of resources, which is men. So they moved away from it. But your black woman, it seems like you cannot pry white feminism from their cold, dead hands. And many of these black females don't even understand how destructive white feminism is, and moreover, how racist white feminism is. Because your white feminists, back in the first wave of your women's suffrage, these women were pretty much racist. If you listen to your Susan B. Anthony, she got upset because black men got the right to vote in the 13th or the 14th Amendment, and she was upset that N-words got the right to vote over white women. And many of these other feminists, they were serious racists, and even Sojourner Truth called them out in her Ain't I a Woman speech, trying to tell black women that the white feminist is not looking out for your interests. When it comes down to the white feminist, she is a rich white female who only looks out for other rich white females. She is not interested in looking out even for the interests of the common woman. She talks about girl power, she talks about women's rights, but when we look at her policies, and her approaches, she's all about herself and her group. She is not about pushing women's rights for black women. Because when these gangster rappers were out here talking about B's and H's, we didn't see National Organization for Women. We didn't see any of these white females going to protest for black female rights when black women were being degraded in these rap lyrics. We don't see, white feminists coming to talk out about movies like Monsters Ball and Precious, which degrade black women. We don't see any sort of action by these organizations because white feminists don't value black women. And the sad part is, black women not understanding that, women like your white feminists and Hillary Clinton never looked out for their best interests, but still went out to go vote straight down a Democratic ticket, not looking at the bigger picture regarding economics, regarding politics, and regarding, the political situation in America. Your black female, continues to follow feminism, even though feminism has led to the destruction of her family, the destruction of her community, and is driving her community right into the ground to be exploited by people like Arab store owners, Korean hair and nail salons, and other foreign-owned businesses which take resources out of the black community and enrich others at the expense of black women. But your black female, you try to tell her that the Democratic Party has never supported black people, yet she continues to support women like Hillary Clinton, 96%, thinking that having a woman president is going to benefit her, when a woman president, most white women understood, would have destroyed, the whole base of the economy of America and changed it completely, because your white female sat there and said to herself, if we alienate the guys who provide resources, we won't have any resources. So we need to go vote for Trump in a majority to protect our resources. Unfortunately, your black female does not understand who provides resources, because back in the 1970s and the 1960s, when she monkey branched from the black economy to the welfare state, she pretty much walked away from the man who was helping to provide her resources, and now she still continues to remain on the white liberals' welfare plantation, still thinking that this white liberal will continue to provide for her, even though he was pushing a candidate that pretty much would have led to the collapse of her own economy and her own economic resources, and pretty much led to her own decline overall. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.